I never thought that through masturbation I could learn to love myself.
I never thought I would co-create a masturbation workshop.
I never thought that I would make such loud sounds.
I never thought I could reach an orgasmic state without watching porn.
I never thought I would get so high from doing it in a group.
Theme of sexuality in my house was kind of inexistent. My parents didn't talk about it until I was 13, and me and my siblings and my cousins, we went to see a priest, or so-called priest, and the priest did something very weird. I don't know if I should be saying this or not. But the priest called me aside into a room, and he was asking me about masturbation, and I was 13, and I thought that was really uncomfortable, and I was already starting masturbation, but I said no, I don't do that.
In the house where I grew up, I don't think we really talked anything about sex or masturbation, really. It was, I felt a huge shame around it, and whenever there was something, the topic coming up close to it, I was really in shame and felt very guilty, or very, I don't know. Yeah, so that didn't really exist, I feel. Except from when the family was watching a film together and something got too romantic, and I was just paralyzed of fear.
I remember even one time when there was a girl in my class that I wanted to get to know her better, and I was very nervous to call her and to talk with her. And just before calling her, I decided to masturbate, to relax. And after masturbating, I was calling her and talking with her. And and she was not so interested. I was offering some math classes, and she said, no, she's not so into it, and like this. But I remember the feeling afterwards of kind of doing something wrong, or it's not the right way to do it.
One day, I don't know when I did it the first time, it was a little bit, I was touching my body, maybe I was 13, something like that. And then I was playing with my pussy and so on, and then some feelings came up, and I went hot and wet and so on. It was a lot of shame too, because it was exciting, really exciting. And I also knew that it wasn't okay. I don't know why, but I felt it. That's not okay what I'm doing now.
I think also I started very early to touch me. I remember that I touched me and also my genitals when I was very young. Also, I can remember that I got some feedback that it's not good or not allowed to do this. So, and it's interesting. I still know how they said this, that it's not allowed, it's not something I should do. But I was maybe 5 or 6, and I actually liked to play with me. motivation of starting the Mindful Masturbation project for me was creating and offering a space where people can explore their sexuality really for themselves, like also looking at the topic of masturbation in a completely new way and exploring also how they usually do it. Like for me, it was over a lot of years that I had a special way and I only did it like this and I wasn't really exploring what's possible.
I mean, I love having sex with my girlfriend. It's amazing. But knowing that I can still play my instrument, my body, independent of how our sex went today or at any time, is something that gives me a lot in my life. And this was the point where I realized I want to give this on.
I would wish to be more relaxed about masturbation in relationship to a flatmate, for example. It's a little bit also, I mean, if they would knock the door when I'm in a state, it is kind of disrupting the state, so it's not so nice to be disturbed when you're going into places. But also, I think the act of getting interrupted would add a stress to me, which is also affecting my state. So I would actually like to feel more relaxed about it and being completely fine with, telling, sorry, I'm busy. Don't disturb me.
I'm always into different things, into things that are putting oneself into a position of uncomfort. I had, of course, troubles related to masturbation. So everything together felt like something interesting. I wanted to be more open, to fall in love with myself, and feeling free from the need of having someone, which will in return actually bring me better relationships. So all of that was my motivation.
To be honest, it was a crisis. In my life, it was a crisis. So it was the separation of my husband because we were getting lost in our marriage. We are getting lost from the body. Yeah, we talk sometimes so that we don't have so much sex, and I don't need it, and me either. But it was a lie. When I asked him why, and he said, I don't see any sexual woman in you or any woman in you anymore. Well, and it was very hard to hear it, but I need this crisis, because I decided so nobody will tell you this to you anymore.
Feel yourself.
I was already interested in the topic and I did some explorations with another group of women only, and we looked to different topics over a period of time, masturbating a lot, and sharing all the time our process. It was very fluently coming then the next, Moshe asked me to join, and I was curious about it, and also it was really fitting, from the flow of my inner exploration. masturbation project was running over half a year with the preparation of it, and we met for 7 sessions, which were going 7 hours each.
Second time. And now we are tightening our complete body and holding. Now just let yourself lay and completely surrender.
Each day had a topic, and it was like dedicated to a special exploration direction. For example, one day was about discovering the connection between feelings and masturbation, or fantasies in our masturbation praxis. And other days were about breathing, meditation, going beyond judgment, and ecstasy. In between the sessions, we had exercises to practice at home. Going with all your consciousness inside your heart. To wish your desire. This question, how it would look to love yourself, what you need, what kind of touch, and see where it feels good for you at the moment to put your hands, like maybe on the belly, or still on the heart. Also, let your hands be playful now and discover which parts of your body need some kind of hug to stroke your hair.
I found out about this masturbation project online. It just came up on my Facebook announcements, or I think I was not actively looking for anything.
I talked to some friends about this masturbation project, and they told me, "Oh, you're very brave. You're going to a group with people you don't know them, and I don't know if I would do that to open myself." And also they were curious what's going on there, because I guess sex is it's an exciting topic.
It's nice because I feel I'm a little bit provocative when I'm sharing it, and I kind of expect people to be a bit surprised about it and curious.
I told some friends, and I had all kinds of reactions. Curiosity. Most people would laugh at first. Yeah, they were just laughing and telling me that they could teach me. Because they didn't understand what it was going on there.
And I specifically remember the reaction of one guy. He was saying something, "Oh, when such things come up, or when there's such people share, or an interesting television program running about this, he would be interested to see." but he cannot imagine himself going to such a mixed group and really masturbating.
I never ever experienced something like this before. And what was different, that I was not so goal orientated and focused, and I much more moved than touched myself.
The first time that I masturbated in the group was, like, it was freeing. I felt good. I felt like in my mind it was getting normal. It was not something bad or something to be ashamed of.
And I had very strong inner flow of energy, which was also connected to a lot of intense feelings inside, and brought me into a very ecstatic state, also feeling the others around me, and this sexual energy in the room was very uplifting. I didn't expect this to be like this.
I think the time where I got really, really excited about the project was that masturbation session, where I got really, really expanded in, and I felt that I discovered something new that I haven't discovered before. So this was a big inspiration.
I felt that I wasn't not so open up for first time. I was in my head. Just some minutes later on, I forgot the others. So I was playing with myself, and I also felt the arousing energy in the room from the others, and also the sounds. And it was, I felt this energy, and I was a part of it. And so I didn't had any shame to be with me, and so it was interesting. I was in a group and I was with me.
I think it changed my mentality somehow. Some button switched, and I felt like it was okay. It was natural. It was something that should be shared in family, and we should be talked about.
In the session at the end, where we made a kind of 1 hour self-love ritual,
there was a collective movement of the whole group, where something emerged out of something that felt not controlled by any of the members of the group, but as itself an amazing experience.
We had a kind of similar peak. So each of us was for themselves, but this orgasm came synchronized.
exciting points for me was in the session of fantasies, realizing how there's a real beautiful and healthy way of bringing fantasies into my masturbation.
Maybe I would like it or to try it with some other friends who are open for that. In a circle, tell us the fantasy and to develop this story. And it was very interesting what kind of story and what it make with me, with my body and with my feelings.
And you're walking along and looking at ships that are standing on the harbor.
A little bit excited in your heart, but you don't know why. What happened with me?
And you see then this guy sleeping there. He's looking so amazing. Like you look at him and you just think, wow, oh my god. He's so sweet and sexy and cute. You really get like this strong desire to go in just to touch him.
So just please touch me, that I know that I'm not dreaming.
He's also coming closer with his face to you, and so close that you can get a smell how he smells.
His skin is so soft.
I was quite amazed in how coming in touch with the emotion, though sometimes shaking and challenging, at the end leaves me with a deep feeling of being fulfilled.
I allow myself more to feel the feelings, and then it changed something on my body level because I feel I get more expanded, more light, and it's not so much focus on pleasure. It's more being with all kind of feelings.
What could be more amazing than living in a community of people who mindfully, consciously deal with sexual energy?
We are 8 billion people on the earth, and everybody's an individual and has the right to live on its own and to masturbate how everybody likes it, and everybody is okay.
So we would be nourished by our own exploration, but at the same time inspired by each other.
Yeah, I think this project really affected my work in a positive way. First of all, because I was challenging myself and putting myself into an uncomfortable position. I was feeling also more secure about I was getting more confidence because I was doing different things that most people wouldn't do. And I was feeling more and more bold.
I think it's an interesting opportunity to focus on something that we kind of take for granted. And it feels very generous to give so much time to focus on it, because I kind of came from a position of thinking that I'm very, I know that I'm good at it. It's like it's a done thing. I've been spending a lot of time, exploring it myself, and I kind of thought I was finished with it. But then this workshop opens up for new ways of exploring it.
I think Jon was the one who phrased it in the most beautiful way after the session. He said, at the beginning, the fantasy was helping me to get more aroused, more energetic. And at some point, it felt it was distracting me from being really present and being really there. And I love this because it shows how when we become mindful, we can use all those different elements and see when they're good for us. And as long as they're good, we use them. And when they're not good, we just go on and find some other things.
Yeah, the potential of self-love is endless. There's a potential of discover more and more and more and more and more.
And no shame. No shame, just, yeah. Dancing.
This is so good.